Hello and welcome to Dead Letter Movie Chat, episode 17,
17.
recorded Sunday, March 15th,
The Ides of March.
2015. I'm Tim,
I'm Andrew.
and we're going to be talking this afternoon about the new movie by Neil Blomkamp, Chappie, starring his usual go-to guy, Sharlto Copley, also
Dev
Sigourney
Patel.
Weaver, Dev Patel, Hugh Jackman, and Dee Antwoord as
Yes,
mostly themselves.
more or less. Ninja
So,
and Yolandi, yes.
with the same names for their characters because they couldn't bother to come up with anything else, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
So,
Yeah, Tim, why don't you give us the rundown plot-wise?
real quick, the basic synopsis is that Dev Patel is an engineer with a robotics company that has built a contingent of robot policemen in South Africa, but what he really wants to do is build a true artificial intelligence. Towards the beginning of the movie, he succeeds and, unbeknownst to his employers, installs it in a robot body that then becomes Chappie, as performed by Sharlto Copley in motion capture and voice. The robot is then captured by some gangsters, as portrayed by
Hi,
the
D.
Antwoord,
Antwoord. Where? Yeah.
who want to use the robot for their own purposes. Hugh Jackman is a guy who's basically built the big nasty robot from RoboCop,
Pretty much.
and wants to destroy it. Uh, I don't know where else to go with this.
Yeah, that's
It,
that's
it
about.
goes it goes in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting philosophical and theological ideas that come out of the film. There's a lot of question about what is consciousness and all. Like, I don't know. The film has some really great ideas. It's just a shame that it doesn't quite execute as best as these ideas are deserving of. Um, that said, it's what they make a pretty good looking movie for the most part. The special effects in
Yeah,
this film look amazing, and the fact that they actually look not like special effects that much, which is something that Blumkamp is very good at doing. District Nine's, to be honest, felt it looked more believable than a lot of things that I've seen in a long time.
yeah, it really did. Looked very realistic. I mean, serious respect for that. That's great. And one of the reasons I'm interested in him as a filmmaker.
Hmm.
But there's some serious plot issues with this one. Like you
Yes.
said, it starts with some of the big questions and big ideas, but then it doesn't really go anywhere with them. It sort of
No.
just drops them on the table, mostly towards the beginning of the film, within the first 20 minutes or so, and then doesn't do anything with them. It doesn't ask the audience to think about the implications of what does this mean. It's just, oh, well, there's this, and then these things happen that don't really have anything to do with the big idea.
And it just sort of seems like he sat down writing a pretty, a pretty by the numbers robot action movie, and then got high in the middle of it and came up with all these other ideas. I mean, it seems a little crass to say it that way, but that's how it kind of comes off as
It did come off a little bit that way. Honestly, I'll give him a little more credit, and I think it was kind of the other way, that he started with the big idea,
yeah, I'm hoping that's
and
what happened.
yeah, because that seems to me to be more his mo. Like,
Exactly.
if you look at District 9, it was very clearly a metaphor for apartheid,
Yeah.
and there were no bones made about that.
No.
I think he probably started with the same high-minded concept here. Let's do some of the hard science fiction, but have it make us look at ourselves. But by the time he actually started getting into the script, that didn't come through.
Exactly. It seems to be. I don't know. This is a genre guy talking to a certain extent here. Stephen King said, in order for you to like horror films, you have to totally love crap. You have to be able to sit down and like watch Revenge of the Crab Monsters 3 times and love it. I think with science fiction, you have to be able to deal with failure more.
Yeah, you kind of do. And speaking as more the sci-fi genre guy, we've been over that in
Yeah,
detail.
we've been over that.
there's a lot of that too. There are a lot of crummy movies out there that, on the surface would be called science fiction, but fall more into what's been commonly called sci-fi as opposed to science fiction. Like Interstellar was a science fiction movie. This kind of devolved more into sci-fi.
It's like I would say it has less to do it's sort of like science fiction, like Aliens is science, not Alien, but Aliens is science fiction, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's really just an action movie with some science fiction elements. Kind of like I'm not I would say this is a smarter movie, but this is definitely it's kind of in the same vein as like say Total Recall. Although I think this is a smarter movie, but I don't know by how much.
I think it certainly wanted to be a smarter movie. It started
Mhm.
from a more intelligent place than, say, Aliens. Total Recall.
Yeah,
There's some talk to be had there about
yeah.
its source material versus what came out in the movie. But
Mhm.
I feel like this really just didn't capitalize on its ideas. The characters also didn't really draw me in. I didn't
No,
much care what happened to any of them.
and the
I kind of wanted
antagonists.
to see, we said before we started recording, what is D Antwoord going to do next? What's
Yeah,
going to happen to them? But I wanted to see it, but I didn't really care.
yeah. That's sort of, and that's the thing is because De Antwoord is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, like that's it's kind of hard to describe how I feel about it because I tend to kind of like it when rock stars are in movies, not because it's necessarily a good decision. I just think it's kind of fun to watch, whether it be a train wreck or not. And I don't think it's a train wreck with them. I think
No,
it's
no, it's not a train wreck, but they did have some of the worst lines in the movie, I'm
they
afraid.
did, they definitely did. And the thing is, even if they were better actors, I don't know if they could, if I don't even know it would have been any better. I think
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
I don't think it would have helped. No,
Yeah.
the script was just too much of a mess.
Yes, as it is, they're the most interesting quote antagonists in the film, and also the best rounded out antagonists of the film.
Yeah,
Whereas Hugh Jackman and the crime lord guy, whose name I honestly can't remember,
yeah, I'm not sure they ever even said it.
yeah, it's just see that's a problem. It's like they're just sort of meh when it comes to villains, and really and truly, like a film like this is only going to be as strong as its villain, and
And the villains are not. Yeah, they're bland.
they're just bland. Yeah.
They're not milk toast, but they're very obvious and very flat.
And Sigourney Weaver is surprisingly underused in this film.
And she
She's
wasn't
just
the only one. I mean, Dev Patel, out of all the big names in this movie, probably did the best, sold his character the most.
he had the most to have, like he had the most part too as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Um,
but not. Yeah, it was pretty comparable to, say, Hugh Jackman's screen time, but he was
mhm.
pretty underused here too. I felt so. Yeah, really, I'm. This was a disappointment to me because I loved District 9. I really do. I recommend it. That was a huge surprise for me when it came out. I recommend that one. It's a great
Yeah,
movie.
it's great. Yeah,
If you see one movie by Neil Blomkamp, see
see
that
that.
one. See
Yeah,
District 9.
yeah.
Skip
If you're
skip
a
this
fan of
one.
D. Antwoord, see Chappie. But
Yeah, yeah. I
but
can't really recommend it for anything else.
yeah, it's
So
it was enjoyable. I liked it in the long run, but I'm not gonna say it was particularly. I don't know exactly what level of liked it I have because like a film like The Fifth Element, which is not a very good movie, I like it, but it's kind of like it's not quite like that kind of I like it. I don't really know what it is about
yeah, and
it.
see, I like The Fifth Element, but it's not a good movie really by any stretch. It's pure popcorn. So by that metric, it was
Yeah,
it was it was good, and I had a lot of fun. That one was fun.
but this isn't.
Chappie was not
Yeah,
fun.
it's not fun and it's
It
not
was
a
it was not
popcorn movie.
fun. It wasn't supposed to be a popcorn movie. There
Mhm.
were points where, yeah, it's like this scene belonged in a more popcorn R-rated action kind of movie,
Yeah,
but it just wasn't. There were moments that should have tugged at the audience's heartstrings and just didn't.
didn't.
So
Yeah.
I did not like the movie. I also didn't hate it.
Hmm.
It was mostly just a disappointment because I feel like all of the people involved can do better.
Yeah.
So that said, I'm going to give the movie a C. Just a
And
flat C.
and I think that's fair. I think the reasons why I liked it is because there's it's a mess, but it's a mess with some really interesting ideas involved in it. So I kind of ended up looking at this like a sophomore English teacher and reading some 5 paragraph essay, and my thought was like, well, okay, so this is you got some really interesting ideas, but you're kind of lacking in cohesive and follow through and execution and all that stuff. So ultimately, I'm giving it a C plus. Not exactly, not great. I mean, it had some great ideas. It just sucks in the script.
Yeah.
And like, it's sort of weird that they rushed this movie so much, because it's not like Elysium did so well that they had to like, oh, hurry, we got to make another movie. I feel like if they had taken their time on this, it could have been a very good film. Like if they had given just another year of working on it.
There was potential here that needed to be done in the development stage. I mean, before it ever got in front of cameras.
Right, and I think that's the sophomore writing teacher also in me as well. It's like, it seems like you just wrote this on the weekend when I gave you 3 weeks to work on this paper. So that's I'm not going to say it feels rushed, but because it doesn't particularly feel rushed, it just doesn't seem like
it doesn't quite feel done.
It just doesn't feel done. These